Favado is a new grocery savings mobile app. It
Okay.
launched in this past October. So we're almost 6 months old, which is very exciting. And it helps grocery shoppers all over the country spend less of their hard-earned money on groceries. Because, you go grocery shopping and you're like, I almost feel like sometimes I've been robbed when I leave because it's so expensive.
Oh, Whole Foods, whole paycheck?
Pretty much. I think that, and
This is me loving Whole Foods. I do. Also, I understand.
well, we can help you with that because we have Whole Foods in the app as well. So we'll tell you what's on sale. So the goal is to help grocery shoppers all over the country learn how to, stock up when things are on sale. Take if there's coupons. Whole Foods has coupons, so taking advantage of those. They have them in the store, so they're right there for you. You just need the app will tell you when to clip the coupon and when the product is on sale, because when you do the coupon and the product together, or the sale together, you get like double the discount. And then instead of paying, $8 for that, whatever it may be, can of beans, not really, that wouldn't be $8. Instead of spending $2 on a can of beans, you'd spend 50 cents or $1. So every penny counts, and it adds up very, very, very quickly.
I agree with that. I mean, I mentioned earlier that I grew up in Appalachia, and it's increasingly a decision for people between, like, do I buy auto insurance or do I feed my family? Like, we kind of live and we are privileged to be here and wandering around, but that is not the reality for a lot of the world and a lot of the U.S.
Right, and I think that the app is awesome for anybody, right? Anybody who wants to, save for a vacation. Or I have 4 children at home, so there's this thing called college coming up, and we want to help them some, so we want to put some money away. So if I can, instead of spend $500 a month on groceries for my family, and I can spend $250 or $300, that's $200 a month that we can sock away. That really will make a difference. That money will, accrue over time, and we can, have a nice little egg for them when they get to college.
Well, so tell me about this. Do you have how does the app itself work? That's my question.
You want to start with that?
Yeah, sure. So basically what we do is we've got the weekly sales ad digitized by bloggers around the country. They're writing up this content for their sites anyway, and we built a whole back-end system for them and a WordPress plugin to power their sites. And they're typing up the sales every week when they come in the mail. And in the app, you load it up, it detects where you are, through GPS, and select your stores around you. So here in Texas, we got, all the big grocery stores, H-E-B, Whole Foods. You've got the national drugstore chains, CVS, Walgreens, whatever. You select the stores that you normally shop at, and then it just shows you everything that's in that weekly ad. And you can look at multiple stores at the same time, obviously, so you can do your comparison shopping. You can search. You can save favorite products and brands so that they get bubbled up to the top, so you always see those. And each item will tell you if there are matching coupons, so that's where you get the real savings. So like if there's a coupons.com coupon available, we give you the link. If there's a magazine ad coupon or something, you get into really like technical couponing when you dive into the bowels of the app. But anybody can pick it up and save money instantly by just buying what's on sale. So it's easy, intuitive interface. Just got lists of things or search, and you add things to the shopping list, and then go to the store and save money.
You answered a lot of my questions. I was wondering, is it searchable? What are what are the products I can find there? What stores? Yeah, it sounds pretty comprehensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. We do a lot of customer development. We did a lot of user testing and things to make sure that it's really addressing people's needs, and it seems that it is. We're getting a lot of great feedback, and yeah, so it's been fun. It's a fun project. It's fun to build something that helps people right away.
You're 6 months into this. What kind of user base do you have at this point?
We're at about 500,000 downloads between iOS and Android. But right now we're really working on refining the experience before we just try to drive scale. We want to make sure that when we bring people in through marketing campaigns, that they're going to enjoy the experience, they're going to stick around and really retain. So
yeah. Well, it sounds like it's funny because the thing that you brought up about refining user experience, I don't know if you heard him here earlier, Todd Harple, who works for Intel. He works in doing wearables and hardware and other things, but his entire message revolved around making sure you understand who your users are and making sure that you're serving them in a powerful way, and that's what you're up to.
Yeah, we do a lot of in-app surveys. We do a lot. I spend a lot of time on the phone with customers. We reach out to individuals and just kind of pick their brain about how the product works out for them, what they do and don't like about it. And I mean, we don't make all our decisions based directly on customer feedback, but a lot of it. And that's, we're not making it for ourselves. We're making it for everybody out there. So that's why I strongly believe in customer development like that.
And based on what you said earlier, you're interfacing with at least two different interesting entities. You're interfacing with stores, and then you're interfacing with the blogging community around couponing or potentially around food. If you were to give some advice to people who are connecting with those two audiences, or trying to connect with those two audiences, what would that be?
So can I refine your question just a smidge?
Absolutely.
Because we're not really working with grocery stores. We're just taking the information that they're putting out
you're
there.
You're
and we're
pulling it in
into the
so
app. So we
okay.
have our bloggers putting it into the app. You know, I think but who we will end up working with are the companies who have the products that we are listing, for sale in the app.
Gotcha.
And I think that it's providing a tool just like this, right? We have this powerful app that we want to connect grocery shoppers with the companies, the products, and that the app is a great tool to make that connection happen. And I think it comes down to, need, right? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So there's a problem out there of grocery shopping is just frustrating, or grocery shopping is too expensive, or I don't have enough money this month to pay for groceries. So the app, meets that need, and at the same time is connecting these different groups of people who otherwise probably wouldn't be connecting.
And do you think that's the reason that the blogger community is willing to participate, because they just feel like they recognize that need and they're doing a service? Like, well, how did you hook them to want to help you?
Right. It was already happening. So bloggers were already putting this information on their websites. So as Michael said, they built a portal that we can all work in this together. And it really is a real community effort in getting and really helping everybody. And I think, everybody who's on our team would say, they're doing this to help people. And I do the Costco list myself on my website, and that's great for me. I can go look and it's like, yay, here it is in the app, and I think, they're using it as well. They're using the tool as well. They're using the sale information and the coupon information as well. So, it goes back to that need. And people were doing it already, and we just created a system, an ecosystem is kind of our buzzword, and community that we can do it all together, and that benefits, hundreds of thousands of people at this point. So
that's interesting and smart, because the best way to create something that is going to be successful, which it sounds like you've got 500,000 people, you're well on your way, is to not try to change people's behavior, but to tie into behavior that is already in existence.
Right, and I think that's one of the things that speaks to the work that you guys have done with customer development and the user testing and surveys is, there are so many types of grocery shoppers out there. I'm a mom with 4 kids, feeding a family, breakfast, lunch, snack, which might as well be another lunch, and dinner, right? So the way I grocery shop is very different from Newlywed over here, with he and his wife, right? So, and the app works for different types of shoppers. If you just want to, as you're walking into the store, search for what's on sale, so you can make sure to, that you didn't miss that steaks were on sale, or that, this giant bag of potatoes to go with your steaks. You can make baked potatoes for 2 months, right? So you can use it that way. If you are, a mom like me who's really trying to do everything on a budget, I can use it to make my meal plan based on everything that's on sale that week. If you're an extreme couponer, it makes the whole sourcing of the coupons really, really simple. So that's, I think, what's awesome. It's such a simple user experience, and the interface is very neat and organized and beautiful, but it hits so many different types of shoppers. It's not like, oh, that's the coupon app. Oh, no, it's not. Like, it does way more than that, right? So I think that's one of the and that speaks to these guys and their work in, getting it right for different types of grocery shoppers.
So your idea, and then you pulled in somebody who could build it, yeah? Or
yeah. I mean, we all work with savings.com. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the
yes,
backstory behind Favado.
Please.
Favado is a brand being incubated within savings.com.
Okay.
Based in LA, savings.com's online coupon code site. And if you need coupon codes, savings.com is awesome. It's fantastic. But we're getting a lot of searches on the site for grocery coupons, and grocery coupons performed really well in email. So like there's definitely a groundswell from our existing users, people just wanting grocery coupons, and we weren't offering that because everything is online coupon based. So about 2 years ago, the company started exploring, the blogger connections they already had. Savings.com has a program called the Deal Pro Network, and a lot of those bloggers out there were doing this sale blogging on their sites anyway. So we thought, all right, let's try and leverage these relationships we have already, and let's package it into an app. So the app started building up like that, and Erin was one of the deal pros, and is very, very, very closely tied in with Savings.com, and has been an advisor since the beginning. I came in as things were going, and right when we started to build the app out, I came in to help run product, and been going for a year now on this project. So that's the genesis of Favado.
Thank you.
Company perspective.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was also. Yeah, but interesting in that the lesson that I extrapolate from that is that you were really smart in identifying the resources you already had in operation and how to apply those more effectively. Like you noticed coupon searches, and you already had the community of bloggers, and like you just pulled that all together.
Yeah, exactly. That was
that's wise.
Well, testament to our leadership.
So you tell me, this is what's going on in my head, and I want to just cross-check it. So you said that there's a potential in the future to integrate with the people who are making the food products. Did I hear you hint at the future of where Favado goes? Is that what I heard?
Yes. So our hope is that, as Michael said, we're just almost to the point where we have the user experience really refined in how we want it to hit all the different types of shoppers that we mentioned. And, we want to reach out to different companies who have products that we are already listing in the app to give them opportunities to increase their exposure in the app, potentially have, a coupon inside of the app that people could redeem from their phone. That's where the technology is going with these digital coupons, and Favado is going to be poised for, when that becomes available to kind of jump in there and be the front runner in that, sort of digital coupon grocery savings space.
Get it. And
That's right.
Is that your monetization strategy? Like, how are you making money right now? Are you? How are you?
That's long term. I mean, we're working out the different offerings that we can give to different CPGs or retailers. If retailers want to work with us, they tend to not really like what we're doing. I mean, I don't know. Some might. It might not be totally aligned with everybody's strategies because we're aggregating everybody's sale information in one place. Kroger would probably rather you use the Kroger app than come into our app where Kroger is next to Albertsons, is next to Target, next to Walmart. We're building out the different offerings to brands, and that's really our long-term strategy. We're doing tests with display ads. Just launched banners. We'll see how that goes. But I don't think that's that's a short term. I don't think that's like a real needle mover in terms of a big revenue strategy. So being a real coupon platform, a way to offer brands a new channel, that's the real strategy. That's the big fish.
I feel like what is interesting about all of these conversations is, one, they're in wildly diverse spaces. Today we've talked about wearables, and we've talked about marketing, and we're talking about couponing, and every conversation there's something valuable for anyone in every conversation. Specifically, as somebody who has launched a new app in the last 6 months, what bit of advice would you give to the South by crowd and to the people watching about how to do or how not to do that?
I mean, we've touched on it a few times, but know your customers and don't assume you're making the app for yourself. Because if you are, then you have a user base of one. So talk to your customers early and often, figure out who they are, where they are, how they communicate, and speak their language.
And Erin, what would you say?
I think one of the things that our team did really well when we had a beta product for around 9 months, maybe it was a while, and the beta product looked wildly different from now. But during the time that the beta product was out there, at the same time they're getting all this great user experience surveys and feedback from people who are using the beta version. They also did something that I thought was really interesting and very effective, because it's now determined for us what is now our key marketing channel, the paid marketing channel. So they did about 2-week chunks of different small spend, maybe, I don't remember, $2,000, $3,000. It was a beta group, so it was a small group of user base anyways, much smaller than, it wasn't nationwide, it was a small region, Ohio and Indiana. So we did about 1 to 2 weeks at a time of different marketing spends through different channels. We did AdWords, we did Facebook, we did, I think we did a short little Twitter ad campaign. It just ran it for about 8 weeks, probably different ways, and determined that our user base and the targeting, that our best channel was through Facebook. And so that is where we now put a lot of our marketing dollars behind, is that. And I think that was very, very smart of our team and our leadership to do that testing ahead of time, so that once the app is out and it's a great experience and we've got it all fine-tuned, and those, and Michael touched on this a little bit earlier, is those are the users who are coming back and coming back and coming back. And we can get downloads and downloads and downloads, that's great, but we want people coming back to the app and using it. And we were able to identify that channel with the strongest cost per install, as well as retention rate, was through Facebook, and that was through our beta testing.
Oh man, I love that you just said that, because you gave the perfect practical real world example of what Erin Korogodsky was sitting here and saying, do experiments to see what works in terms of marketing.
Right. That's
excellent.
And we're still doing that. Now that we're out and we have our paid spend, we also have all sorts of other, unpaid or very, very small, small budget, different types of campaigns, and it's all experimenting. I heard a quote, and I'm going to totally forget who it was, but there are no longer great marketers, there are great experimenters. And I think that in the space that I wish I could remember who said it, and I might come to me in 10
We'll look
minutes,
it up. Somebody Google this.
It'll come to me. It might have been at another conference or something. Anywho, but I think that that's so true. And I was listening to the end of Erin's last interview, and I think part of the reason also is there's so much noise in this space. Social media is just noisy.
Yeah.
It's very hard to reach that person, And, once you've identified user, how to get to them, and, figuring out what makes the most sense, what I thought was going to be an effective channel for reaching, moms like me, I've been surprised by it. It's not what I thought it was going to be. It's been through our blogger network, but we can also reach them through Facebook, and we can target to the newlyweds, we can target to college kids in other ways. So I think, but I think that's that experimentation, I think you never know what's going to go viral.
Yeah.
You have no idea, so you have no idea what campaign is going to be effective, or if it's the risk too, right, of putting money behind a campaign you think is going to be awesome, and then halfway through you're like really putting way more muscle and budget behind it than you thought, because it's not as awesome as you assumed it was going to be.
It's interesting that when in a tech startup, what you're advocating, it's kind of a Zen idea of operating with a child's mind. Is basically coming from an I don't know mindset. Like there are things that I would normally assume that of course I know the answer to that, but do you really know what you don't know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from a product perspective, we test as well, test a ton, and until recently, A/B testing in mobile was like unheard of, because you have to go through the app approval process and release new builds. And there are cool new platforms out there that we've been using to do A/B in-app with real variants and real tests, and you actually push variants out once the app is already live.
Like
Let me shout out to Lean Plum, totally awesome. Love Lean Plum. It lets us do really, really, really great things. And so to anybody looking to build an app, don't assume that you know how the interface should look, how you should phrase things. Test, just like on the web. Test. And
Awesome.
just because there's a 5-day waiting period before your app goes out doesn't mean you can't run tests.
Hey, thank you. I mean, I didn't know before Erin scheduled this. I didn't know you guys were going to be coming in, but I've been really grateful all day for the conversations that I've had, and this is a really nice way to wrap up. I think after this one, I'm done. The room is cleared, and I don't have anything else scheduled for this evening, but I appreciate you taking the time.
Our pleasure. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.